mooie wijzerij. Efter wat hier
Welcome to my podcast, the Too Late to podcast. Sorry, clears his throat. That was in the script. Clears his throat. The Too Late to podcast by the guy who's podcasting too late in the history of podcasts to be too late. It's too late to be starting a podcast, but that's when I'm starting it. It's 2018 September. No, it's not quite September. It's Friday, August something, the last weekend of the summer if you're going back to school. If you're counting by the actual, see? I get lost in these digressions. I should call it the digressive podcast. Anyway, it's the last weekend of the summer or the last weekend before Labor Day in Toronto. That's the weekend of the air show. I am going to get a light so that this, not that anybody wants to see my face, but this sort of black hole is probably kind of annoying. Okay. I'm beginning a podcast today. I have no idea why. It just started with somebody asking me if I wanted to do it and telling me they'd set it up for me. And they made it so easy for me that I could have said no, but usually why I say no to things is just because it's too much to get it together. But this was not difficult to get together. So I'm starting it. And I'm trying to keep them all within a certain 5 to 7 minutes. And right now we are at 2 minutes. Okay. It's Friday afternoon. I slept a lot this morning, yesterday, because I was exhausted. Because I spent 6 hours yesterday on the mega bus going from Toronto to Kingston, picking up my daughter in Kingston and bringing her back. And I did that because I've reached a point where driving to Kingston to get her and driving back is just a bit too much for me. I'm not sure how that happened, but a lot of it had to do with driving on the 401. The 401 killed my love of driving. Or it might just be a lack of concentration. Or it might just be age. I'm not as good a driver as I used to be. Anyway, I don't know what I want to do in this podcast. I am going to invite people to come eventually, if anybody ever watches it and wants me to talk about something, I will. If they're in the Toronto area and they want to come and be on it, that'll be fine. I have seen some great podcasts with some great focuses. Maybe I should call this the podcast without a focus, because I can't really settle on a focus. I don't want to make it just about me, although it will always be a bit about me, I guess. Assuming I keep doing it. I will just tell you one thing. I feel a little lost today. I think it's because it has that sort of end of summer feeling, and what did you accomplish this summer, and did you have a good summer, and what did you do this summer? And one thing is that I didn't get out of the city once this summer, except yesterday if you can consider going to Kingston on the megabus, getting out of the city. I didn't spend 1 minute in front of a lake in nature near the water. I didn't go camping, which I don't like doing, but which I've done most other summers mostly because of my daughter and my ex-wife. Yes, I guess it's like TIFF is starting next week and my daughter's going back to school. And I feel like I kind of wasted the summer, but I didn't really waste it. I mean, I didn't waste it. I think it's partly also because I have some things to do. I have some writing to do. I have a film to make soon, and I don't quite feel ready for it. I sort of feel like I wish I could just drift along a little bit more. I've been drifting. Um, today is the first day of the air show, and so there's these big jets flying overhead, although not now as we speak. I had this fantasy of going out in the backyard, throwing my arms to the heavens, having a beam come out of one of those jets, sucking me up into the jet, and just sort of being part of the air show. Now, in order for that to work, I would have to have a bit of a lobotomy because otherwise, being in one of those jets would scare the living shit out of me. I hate rides. I hate roller coasters. My daughter is at Canada's Wonderland right now. Last time I went there, I was with her and her mother, and we went on what's supposed to be a kiddie roller coaster. But even the kiddie roller coaster was too much for me and too much for my daughter. It's like I would do anything for that kid, but if that kid ever starts to like rides and wants her dad to go on, he will draw the line there. I think there's other lines I would draw. Maybe we will discover what they are. In the course of confessing during this podcast, which I will end episode 1 inauspiciously here.